Hello everybody, Martin here, back with the round 4 match of this Legacy League. Currently 2-1, playing Blue-Black Omni, as per a viewer suggestion. So I played this match earlier, and this is a replay, but yeah, so here we go. So we won the die roll, and obviously we want to be on the play here. And this is a pretty sweet hand, so obviously I feel like saying that we're going to keep this. We are able to play around Wastelands. We have part of our combo in the show and tell. We have protection and we have cantrip, so beautiful. So we're going to lead on Scalding Tarn probably, even though like the delta is less. Like the reason to lead on Tarn is we know we want to fetch Island, and yeah. So I decide to pass here, where like you could make a very good claim that like fetching Island going preordain is the play here, but that really gives away that we're on combo. Meanwhile, they go Island top, which means it's one of a few decks, and it's very likely Miracles. It could also be a combo deck like Storm or even our deck, but yeah, so we draw another Force. So here we decide to not play around Wasteland anymore and cast Brainstorm. And Brainstorm gives us a Thoughtseize, a third Force, which we don't need, and a Ponder, which is nice. So let's put back the Force. And what's the last card we put back? I guess we put back 2 Forces because it's too much card disadvantage, and we have the Thoughtseize that sort of will like replicate a Force. So here we can do a range of things. We can Thoughtseize them, and like if we're worried that they're going to slam Counterbalance with like a counter backup, so could do that, and that is what we're doing. And they have, yeah, a bit of an annoying hand to be Thoughtseizing into because, well, I mean the top is bad. The 2 lands are fetch lands, so that's pretty good with their top, but the rest is just cantrips. They're almost interchangeable, so like I considered taking the Ponder just because they only have one of those, but like with the fetch lands, the Brainstorms just seem like so much more powerful. So we're going to take 1 Brainstorm. So they can still Brainstorm, but only once. And ship the turn. So I just thought of another thing I like more about the red-blue Omni sneak deck, and that is that even though it's running fewer of most of the combo pieces, it has more wins off Omniscience. Like with this deck, if we resolve Omniscience, we have to have 1 of 6 cards in hand to win, which is the 4 Cunning Wish and 2 Emrakul, where the other deck has 3 Griselbrand. That is almost always a win. 3 Emrakuls, the same, and 3 Cunning Wish, so that's 9 cards. But anyways, that was just an aside here. Okay, so we draw closer to a win here, so let's hope these cantrips can get us there. We lead off with a Ponder. We just want to find, like, there it is, the Omniscience. So let's put back... I guess we don't need the Delta. Let's draw the Vault here and play a land, I guess. Yeah, and pass. So we could Vault, but I mean, there's no need to. We'd rather just keep the counter alive. Keep the Omniscience on top and have that be it. So they have the counterbalance. It looks like they do, and we decide to fight over it. And we pitch the Preordain. Because, I mean, it's just too likely that with a fetch land and the top that they'll be able to find, if not a 3-drop for the show and tell, and the Cunning Wish, then a 2-drop for either this Limdul's Vault, which we need in the Firemind's Foresight kill, or the, what's it called? Elodomri's Call that we would otherwise use to find Emrakul. So we decide to fight. And they fetch. They let the Force of Will resolve, and they fetch and Ponder. Okay, so if they had, now they're tapped out. If they don't have Force blue card, then we win. And I think we just have to go for it here, obviously. No point in waiting, giving them more mana. And what did they do? Oh yeah, they let it resolve. Sweet. And they have a mana open now, so we lead with the Limdal's Vault, even though that card does nothing for us in this hand. Just in case that they have something like a Spell Pierce open now. But they don't. So we decide to pay life for this. We could just leave the Omniscience on top and Cunning Wish for release the ants directly. But I guess we want an Emrakul, because that lets us do the same thing, and if for some reason they're able to counter that, we can just next turn draw the Emrakul and hardcast him off Omniscience. So we got the Emrakul. Put him on top, cast Cunning Wish. They look with top. So yeah, if they have an answer for this Cunning Wish, then we just draw the Emrakul naturally next turn. But they don't. We get release the ants. And we just win. Cool. So that was game 1, and I'll be back for game 2. Sideboarding wise, I bring in the 2 Besejus, and I think 1 or both of the Flusterstorms. I forget. Don't think I brought in anything else, but I could be misremembering. And what did I bring out? I probably caught like 1 or 2 lands actually for the 2 Besejus, because I like to do that. Yeah. All right, so we get this hand, and I think this is a surefire keep. Has a lot of the right components. So their turn 1 play is Tundra Ponder. And let's see if I can see if they... they do not shuffle on the Ponder. All right, we draw another cantrip. We draw a Preordain. So let's get this party started. We could turn 1 Thoughtseize, but we decide not to because I don't think they would run the counterbalance blindly into a 7-card hand that has a Ponder the turn before. So I think we actually want this because we need the 3rd land, and Brainstorm can be used to shuffle away stuff. So let's, I think, take the land past the turn and see where we go. So they ponder again, so no counterbalance. That's good. Okay, so we draw Brainstorm, which we cast, drawing into 2 lands and another Brainstorm. So we put back some lands and get an Underground Sea, and we cast Ponder. There's a Beseju. So I think the thing to do here is to take Beseju and then have a Brainstorm plus shuffle effects to find the Omniscience or Emrakul we need, preferably Omniscience. So we Brainstorm first, draw just another Cunning Wish and lands. So kind of breaking on the lands here. There's a world where we're supposed to be more patient and just clear the top because we knew one of the lands there with one of our fetch lands and Brainstorm on the next turn, but now we have to play a fetch land to just clear the top. And yeah, I'm not sure why we did it then. So they clique us here, which is really bad because they'll get to take our show and tell. Draws as a Ponder, so could be worse, but yeah, not great. And now they know what's up with the Beseju, and they're getting their beats on. Man, it's like all the decks I play, Vendilion Clique is really good against them. Mentor, okay, so things can get ugly fast. Okay, Limdal's Vault is great, but doesn't combo well with Beseju. So we Ponder here. So we need the Omniscience, I guess. Yeah. So I guess the plan is to play Boseiju and then vault and hope they don't counter it. But I mean, they probably will. Alright, so they brainstorm here. So do we vault now before they get deeper into their library? I think we were supposed to. Alright, but we don't. No, we decide to wait. Top. Okay, that means that we're sort of dead real soon. So we have to make a move for it now, I think. And hope they don't counter the vault. So we need to find show and tell, and that's pretty much it. So those aren't any good. There's a show and tell. So this looks like a win, right? How do we not win from here? We can show and tell uncounterably through the Boseiju, get Omniscience into play. Then I guess if they have like a Snapcaster to show in, and then with the trigger on the stack, they red blast the Omniscience. Then we Cunning Wish. So now they have 2 cards in their hand, so they Flusterstorm it. And then we Cunning Wish again, and they don't have mana, so I think we're good, right? So let's put it so that the show and tell is on top. And I guess the Emrakul needs to be the second card down. I don't think it really matters, but it can save some time. Alright, so do we Thoughtseize beforehand? I guess we do. Whoops. Oh, hang on. We got way ahead of ourselves. So my computer is being really weird. So let's see here. We cast Thoughtseize. We discarded Force of Will. They revealed a hand that contained Brainstorm, Ponder, Snapcaster Mage. So Brainstorm, Ponder, Snapcaster Mage. They also have the top though. Alright. So we show in Omniscience. And they had the Force, which we took. They have a Snapcaster. In their hand is Brainstorm, Ponder. So I don't really think we're losing this, right? They would have to, with Brainstorm. So they target Brainstorm with a Snapcaster. Oh, but then they just pass the turn, so we have to move first. That's really awkward. So what would have happened if we hadn't done anything? We would pass and then be within lethal range, so we'd still have to move first. So now they have a Brainstorm that's in their graveyard, and they have a hand which is Ponder Brainstorm. So we cast Cunning Wish, and they respond with a Brainstorm. They get their triggers. Brainstorm resolves. Now what? They force. Pitching what? Pitching Ponder. So their hand is 1 card we don't know about. It could be the Brainstorm they had, but it could be something else they found off the Brainstorm. So if it is a Pyroblast or a Flusterstorm, we lose. Let's see. Okay, so Cunning Wish resolves. Sweet. So we get Release the Ants because we just have the Emrakul on top. Ah, but they had the Flusterstorm. I remember this now. That was so annoying. So that Brainstorm was pretty good, but I guess they could have been hiding stuff on top of their library for a while. So yeah, lost that one, which is annoying. So I guess I'll be back for game number 3 in a moment. Alright, so back here for game number 3. I want to be on the play. Didn't change anything with the sideboard, I don't think. So this is a stellar hand, even though we don't have a Cunning Wish or an Emrakul, and we're a land short, but surely we can find that with one of these cantrips. So let's get Underground Sea, I guess, and cast what, Ponder? Yeah, and Ponder shows us the Cunning Wish we need to win, and the land we also need. And so that's pretty good. So let's put back uh, drawing the Misty and then drawing Cunning Wish next turn. And so next turn we'll lead with the Preordain and then play the Boseiju. So they have the turn 1 top. Turn 2 Counterbalance can still muck us up. Oh, excuse me, my laundry machine is, or not laundry, dishwasher is done. Ha, I don't actually think I'm going to edit that out. You'll get to watch me dishwash. Alright, so we draw for the turn, the Cunning Wish, and lead with a Preordain. We're obviously not, like, whenever I have something like Boseiju, and this is a pretty obvious thing, but so maybe you're just, yeah, whatever, but so you always want to cast, if you have something like a cantrip or a tutor spell, that you can meaningfully cast before you deploy Boseiju, you want to do that because as soon as they see Boseiju, they might start reconsidering countering like lesser spells that aren't cast through the Boseiju. So, all right, so this is excellent. So we can get the second Cunning Wish, and we can actually get both of these cards because what we'll do then is once we get our turn back, we'll have drawn both the Cunning Wish and the Preordain. We can cast Show and Tell through Boseiju, get into play Omniscience. Then we have in our hand now like a show and Tell, which doesn't matter, but then we have like the Preordain and the 2 Cunning Wish. And so all we need to do is, well, not all we need to do, what we were going to do is we're going to cast the Preordain first. Because if they have like a Red Blast or an answer somehow, then that might prompt them to go for it. If they do, then we have Cunning Wish. And if they have counter for that, then we have another Cunning Wish. So they will need to be sort of drawing really well to beat this. So yeah. And there's no need to worry about them knowing our hand because they aren't at Clique mana yet. So I guess Counterbalance? Sure. Okay, so Counterbalance complicates things a little bit. It means that if they have a 2-drop on top, then that's like a potential issue. So that just made it a bit more interesting. So let's cast the Show and Tell, and it will resolve because it is uncounterable. And let's see here. So I put in Omniscience. They put in a land. So land is a little bit iffy because that gives them access to, like, they can blind flip on this Preordain if they should choose to, but then they can, if they don't like what they see, they have a fetch land, they can crack that and have a free look at 3 more cards. And if they find to have a 3-drop on top, we're just boned. So let's see here. They actually decide to draw with the top. So if we decide to Cunning Wish now, then they can crack the fetch land with all this on the stack and then look for a 3. We don't want that. We're actually just happy that there's not a 3 on top. So we let that happen. I guess what we should have done is cast the Cunning Wish then, because it'll prompt them to crack the fetch, and then there's a world where once, like, if they find a 3-drop, then the Preordain will actually resolve at the end. Maybe finding us an Emrakul, who knows. So I should have done that. So now they know top is on top, so they'll have to crack. They might have like a blast effect or something, which, yeah, I think they did actually, because they fetched out Mountain. Alright, so what we have to do now is cast the second Cunning Wish and hope they don't also have a Force. If they have a Force, then they win. If they have a 3-drop on top, then they win. And if they have a 2 on top, I think they win too. So let's see here. So they revealed a Flooded Strand. And they don't have Force, so Cunning Wish resolves. So we get Flusterstorm. Right, okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I think we could have gotten like release, sorry, Firemind's Foresight and just won that way. But this works too. So let's fluster that Pyroblast. And yeah, they concede. So yeah, pretty sweet. I think I just thought of a thing that actually also appeals to me more about this deck than the blue-red one. And that is that once you go off with Firemind's Foresight, then I think Lindbl's Vault is just a much more appealing card than the Impulse, which is the 2-drop of choice in the other deck. And that's just because like Lindbl's Vault makes it so you don't need the 1-drop. So there are worlds where you're able to beat a 1-drop on top of like a counterbalance with a top on top. Because with the Impulse build, what you do is you cast the Firemind's Foresight. You get Brainstorm, Impulse, and Cunning Wish, and usually, like, the thing is, if Impulse looks at the top 4 cards of your library, and if it doesn't have a high convert mana cost spell, or I guess even that doesn't even matter. Like, Impulse is sort of useless there because you need the Brainstorm to brainstorm whatever you draw with Impulse back on top of your library. And the rest go to the bottom. So actually, that is a world where Lindbl's Vault is a lot better. But yeah. So anyways, thanks a lot for watching. I'll be back with the final round of this match, or of this match of this league, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.